Part 2, Chapter 3 of Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov is so ill he becomes delirious for days, briefly forgetting his crime. He returns to his senses to find Razumihin is there, and has charmed the landlady into letting Raskolnikov keep his room and receive meals again. His mother has also sent him money. At first, he refuses to take it, but he changes his mind. His mental torment and confusion seems worse than ever. Raskolnikov is disturbed to learn that Zamitov, the police head clerk, visited him during his illness. Zamitov heard Raskolnikov raving about wanting his sock. Zamitov searched the room and found it, but it was so dirty he couldn't see the blood on it. Raskolnikov wants to run away and is increasingly confused about what to do. Instead, he falls asleep again until Razumihin arrives with fresh clothes. In Part 2, Chapter 4 of Crime and Punishment, Zosimov, a university friend and doctor, stops by to check on Raskolnikov. Razumihin invites him and Raskolnikov to his housewarming party that night. Zosimov mentions Nikolay, a house painter who has been accused of the murders because he pawned some of the earrings directly after the crime. Nikolay claims he found them on the streets, but then he tried to hang himself, appearing guilty of the crime. Finally, he admitted he found the earrings in the apartment he was painting. Raskolnikov realizes he dropped them there as he hid behind the door after the murders. He exclaims in terror, "Behind the door! Lying behind the door!" But no one catches the significance of what Raskolnikov has said. Nikolay and another painter were fighting and laughing like children before the bodies were discovered. According to Razumihin, this is not how a killer would behave. Nikolay cannot be guilty of the crime. Razumihin accurately describes how the murderer must have escaped without being caught. In Part 2, Chapter 5 of Crime and Punishment, Luzhin, Donia's fiancé, visits Raskolnikov, who does not immediately recognize him. Luzhin acts contemptuous of Raskolnikov's shabby room and clothing, and when Raskolnikov realizes who the man is, treats him rudely. Razumihin criticizes the apartment Luzhin rented for Dounia and Pulcheria as a disgusting place in a dodgy neighborhood. Luzhin's pompous, self-serving attitude and superficial platitudes annoy Raskolnikov and Razumihin. He speaks in platitudes, arguing for practicality as a moral code. Zosimov joins the men in discussing the murder of the pawnbroker and her sister. Razumihin speculates correctly that it was the murderer's first crime. Soon, Raskolnikov accuses Luzhin of wanting to control Dounia, and when Luzhin blames Pulcheria for misrepresenting him, Raskolnikov threatens to throw him down the stairs. Badly offended, Luzhin leaves. Raskolnikov demands that Razumihin and Zosimov leave as well. As they exit, they talk privately about Raskolnikov's strange attitude and lack of interest in anything except the murders.